Good afternoon, everyone. Do you know, according to the US government scientists who monitors the world's coral reef, Australia's Great Barrier Reef has likely experienced its most widespread bleaching events on record, and this is the third mass bleaching event on the reef in the last 5 years, and expected nearly all reef will be dead by 2050. This means devastatingly we are going to have a poor oxygen quality worldwide. Fish will be non-existent, bigger marine life will die, the entire ecosystem will collapse, and ours will too. You must be wondering what this has to do with my presentation today. I tell you this because this connects with my final design. This is the message that I want my design to carry. If you don't know me yet, I'm Aisha, a fashion design student in USW, and I'm from Malaysia. And for this module, I have expanded my research of my chosen topic and created a sustainable capsule collection from it. These research are supported by brainstorming, asking questions, and I got an advantage of approaching consumers age 50 and above from different countries because I live in Malaysia. Other than that, I was able to communicate with Molly from Timberland and done a few sketches and many more. So, in relation to my exploration that I did, I ended up focusing towards outdoor consumers because I think some of Timberland consumers does outdoor activities and are active. In addition to that, Timberland are doing such an eye-opening actions. This makes me grasp of what is going on with the world. In relation to this topic, I thought of the stuff that makes me want to change my life to a more sustainable lifestyle for this past 2 years. Okay, let me stop you guys there. So some of you guys might be wondering what is sustainable. So sustainable is something that are able to keep going, something that has a small changes for a bigger and better impact to the environment, obviously, such as changing from plastic bag to a reusable bag, switch from using plastic toothbrush to a bamboo toothbrush, switch from plastic straws to metal straws, and start using an eco-friendly products. And as you know, Timberland focused on nature and recycled, rebottle, and planting trees. So I came across coral reefs. Well, coral reef is as important as trees. It provides us 70% of oxygen. But sadly, plastics and sunscreen, for example, leads to global warming and are impacted our coral reefs. Other than that, knowing that researchers have uncovered a presence of plastic in a previously unknown species in the deep sea, which was discovered in the deepest trench in the world called Mariana Trench, and named the species a Eurythnus plasticus, has blown my mind on how plastic has largely impacted our ocean. So this issue catches my eyes, and I thought I would use this in my design and carry an important message to people. Our generation are brainwashed to be lazy to do things the easy way and not the right way. Do you agree? And I have put together a brand board focused on Timberland consumers, who is a travel photographer. I chose a travel photographer for my narrative. As I develop my character, I thought of how this person can share his voice through traveling and photography. Talking about sustainability, I did a social experiment on asking influencers on their Instagram randomly about sustainable, and all I got was, "I'm not quite sure what it is. Please do your research." So I thought, if they don't know what sustainable is, clearly they have no idea what sustainable fashion is. And this is critical, okay guys? So sustainable fashion, on the other hand, is clothing, accessories, shoes that you buy for a better impact to the environment, such as long-lasting products. You don't want to keep buying stuff and piling all your stuff, and think about what happen when you throw your garments away. It polluting. So basically, right now, fashion is the second most polluting industry. And me as a designer, I have to think about that as well. If I don't think about full system, like lot of bad stuff can happen, such as 4 times of unsold products or bankruptcy and stuff like that. So I have to think about something that is interesting and good for the environment. This leads to my concept board. So my message for my concept board is everyone should know what sustainable fashion is. My intent is people to be aware of sustainable fashion and the impact on the person who wears it, and to the environment, and not fall for greenwash advertisement. My audience is a middle-aged man who fairly using social media, because I thought not every 50 years old man actually use social media. So I want it to spread widely. So my mood board is inspired by the ocean. Obviously, I thought that I needed to highlight this topic. My color palette for my final capsule collection came from my mood board. I learned how to apply element and principle to create a strong version of design from my fashion design one. So it started off by doing a design sprint. I did a really quick designing. And other than that, my research has helped and encouraged me to identify my version of element and principle. So in this process, I worked myself through design sprint, applying the EMPs. Doing this definitely changed my perspective of designing. This design sprint totally optimizing my scope of creativity. For my approach to designing, I ended up with 70 designs to choose from. So I continued my convergent thinking to find my solution for my final concept. So this concept consists of optimistic emotion, volume, form, and dominance for its EMPs. In order to develop a strong message in my garment, obviously during this pandemic, I experimented by drawing designs digitally. Due to my personal experience living in a warm country, Malaysia, I also included what people wear in my country, like why they wear long sleeves and all that kind of stuff. So I refined it further by clarifying my message that my garment holds. So to make it stronger, I asked my classmates, I asked Molly from Timberland, I asked my lecturers to give me a real, honest and direct feedback and of how well my message communicates with my garment. So to keep the aesthetic of Timberland, I decided to choose a cooler hue, tone, color, and keep the silhouette simple yet interesting. I thought of using the banner that the Timberland gave us, and reprint new pattern designs that I have created in the lineup, such as monogram, plain colors, typography, and I did use part of the banner in a few of my design without changing the image of it. This is how I keep my design sustainable, to reuse this banner and create a contemporary design. This is mainly why my design consists of sentences, or you want to call it a sustainable reference in them, such as nature needs heroes, quotes from Timberland itself, waste not, want not, it's a win-win. This is how I want to spread awareness. I want to spread knowledge about sustainable fashion by making them notice, read, and ask. This leads to the point or message behind the Christmas banner that Timberland gave us, about spreading words and the good that they are giving back to the planet. To begin with, an innovative and interesting design would make a strong choice for this idea. Finally, I chose the best design to bring forward, obviously, that contains my message throughout. So I have chosen the far right design. My design shows off how interesting and different, and definitely will be a focus point in the public. So this design consists of modular aspects at the pocket, where you can add or remove the pocket without altering the rest of the design. So consumers can venture styling the piece. I have looked at developing and practicing technique of TR cutting from my GE2, and I also taken it on board so that I could appreciate zero waste, trying to make sure that my lace is as tight as possible to reduce waste, because this is what it's all about. But obviously, due to the shape of the pattern, I could not quite to achieve that. That is it for my presentation today. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for listening.